made, and you'll be pleased to know that a lot of the MPs have been contributing to that strike fund. Mark's here to bring that support to you. Just before I hand over, I do want to pass on apologies from Dave Kelly, the member for Bassendean, who is the former Secretary of United Voice. He was planning to be here today. He's unfortunately got the flu, so he's not here today, but he just wants to pass on his regards and his positive wishes to you. So I will mention that I've got the flu as well, but we all know that man flu is worse. So, over to Mark, so let's give him a good welcome.
Thanks very much everyone, and thank you for inviting me along here today to speak with you. We all are proud West Australians, and we know our state is a great place, all of us here today. We also know that Western Australia is a successful place. And what we want to make sure happens is that everyone shares in our state's success, not just those who earn big money in this state. And one of the things we have to do is make sure those people who aren't on the big money in the mining industry and other parts of the state's economy also share in our state's success in Western Australia today. One of the crucial parts of our state's economy is the airport. Without the airport, our mining industry, other parts of the state's economy, they don't work, they don't happen. And our airport is crucial to the future of the state, and making sure we have an airport which is secure and managed by professional people who do a good job, who are rewarded fairly for the job that they do, has to be an important part. The job that you do is tough. It has long hours, late hours, early hours, weekends, often dealing with difficult people, often at times unfriendly to your families. And one of the things that strikes me as unfair, about what's going on here is that in Melbourne, where the cost of living is less than in Western Australia, people doing the same role as yourselves are paid more. And how can that be? We all know that the cost of living in Western Australia, rent, housing, electricity, water and gas has gone through the roof in recent years, and it's tough to live and tough to survive if you're on a fixed income. And if you're on a fixed income, as people who work at the airport, like yourselves, like all the people here today do, it's tough to make ends meet, and you're not asking for much. All you're asking for is the same rates of pay as those people who do the same jobs in Melbourne, where the cost of living is not as great as it is here in Western Australia. I don't think that's unreasonable to ask for. And the amount of money that you're asking for is not large. You're not asking for a massive pay rise. In fact, you're asking for a far smaller pay rise than some people in our community are currently receiving. And I think that's entirely fair and entirely reasonable what you're doing. Now, it has been tough. People have been locked out. 25 people have been out of work now for a considerable period of time because of these lockouts that have been going on. And I know Carolyn and the union are working on ways to resolve that as quickly as possible so that you can get back to work, you can be paid fairly as you deserve to be, and the airport can get on with the job it does on behalf of West Australians in business and working and on holidays. I think what the union has done has been a fair way forward, and you have adopted a fair approach to this. The fact that this has gone on now for 6 months is too long. It should be resolved, and it should be resolved quickly, but it should be resolved fairly, so that people in Melbourne, Adelaide and Sydney aren't paid more than people in Perth are doing exactly the same work. So I'll go back, I'll talk to my colleagues, I'll make sure that the people of Western Australia know that we think you've got a fair case, a reasonable case, and that your case is taken forward in whatever way that we can do that, and make sure that we continue to take up the case for you. So thanks to Carolyn, thanks to all of you. Best wishes with your campaign. We really do hope you're successful, and we really do hope that you get a fair day's pay for a fair day's work. Thanks very much.
So there you have it. You've got an ally in the Parliament. I think, you know, isn't it great to see that outside of MSS people can see that what you're asking for isn't ridiculous, it isn't crazy, it's a reasonable thing. Isn't that right?